Hello guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. If you're a returning subscriber, as always, guys, welcome back, and I do appreciate the support. Guys, I want to talk to you about a story I covered, I think last Friday. So it's about 5 days ago, 4 or 5 days ago. And it's involving this young lady right here. This young lady is 15-year-old Tamyra Johnson of Louisiana. I forgot where she's from. Shreveport, Louisiana, to be exact. And this young lady saw my video I did about the news article. And she had her parents contact me. Tony, you guys know Tony Brown, who runs my comment section. My girlfriend has been in contact with this woman since 3 o'clock last night. So I don't know when she slept. But I've been working diligently today. I've mentioned her in other videos this morning. I've put a Cash App up here, and you guys have responded en masse. And I cannot tell you how grateful both me and Tamyra is for your donations and support. This little girl, though she's 15, she's a little girl to me. Hell, I'm 51 years old. Is in a burn unit out here close by me, by herself, with her immediate family and support system 6 hours away. Before I get into this story, let me say this to her, and I know she's listening. Shout out to Tamyra Johnson. I know she wanted to hear that. But sweetie, I know you're going through a lot. And I know it's hard being up here by yourself. And sometimes you feel alone, but you're not. Like I said before, I'm riding for you. My channel, the Dynamic Reason channel's riding for you. The DRC family is riding with you. Guys, I'm going to show you this news article real quick in case some of you guys haven't heard of it. And I'm going to come back and we're going to drop the hammer on this thing. Justice for Tamyra.
15-year-old girl who law enforcement says was tortured by her own mother and her mother's boyfriend remains in the hospital.
According to the sheriff, the abuse went undetected because the teen was homeschooled. Eleanor Tabone has more.
It's a case that's shocking even the most experienced law enforcement professionals.
I have children. I have grandchildren. And I know I'd protect them with my whole life. And for somebody to do that to their child, just can't even put it to words or understand.
Terrebonne Parish Sheriff Tim Saunier says in April, LaTonya Harris and Terrence Washington, a 15-year-old girl and another child, had left Louisiana and had a car accident in Baytown, Texas. The sheriff says when Texas authorities arrived at the accident, they found the 15-year-old girl suffering from multiple gunshot wounds, and 30% of her body had 3 to 4 degree burns. The sheriff says Washington shot the teen twice on 2 separate days, and she was denied medical treatment. He says the burns were inflicted by her own mother.
In mid-February 2024, the juvenile female was burned after LaTonya Harris had learned of a sexual assault committed on the juvenile by Terrence Washington. Harris burned the juvenile with flammable liquid in a lighter.
The Department of Children and Family Services said the teen sustained gunshot wounds to her chest, left lower cheek area and near her eye. The child lost her left eye due to the gunshot wound to the face. When asked how the abuse went unnoticed, the sheriff said
They were homeschooled.
According to the State Department of Education, parents need to get approval from the state to homeschool their kids. If approved, parents have to select and use curriculum to teach their child, as well as determine the child's grade placement. Parents also have to submit home study applications to the State Department for approval.
Caught us by surprise like anybody else.
DCFS said in April of 2013 there was physical abuse with the mother as the perpetrator concerning the child. The family was referred for outside services. Then in April of 2014 there was another case of physical abuse with the mother as the perpetrator concerning the child. The child was placed in foster care for a short period of time as a result of the April 2014 investigation. The family received in-home services once the child returned home following the removal in April of 2014. According to the Sheriff's Office, the teen remains in hospital. Eleanor Tabone, WWL, Louisiana.
Guys, that's the recap. And still, with what I've heard by talking today in the interview with Timothy Johnson, the father, and the stepmother, Miss Johnson, it makes me sick. How could anyone fathom doing this to their child that came to them for help? I'm explaining some stuff in here with you guys, and I'm sorry, like I said, I'm sorry that this took so long. This is supposed to be my 7 o'clock premiere, but I had to arrange this interview with the family and make sure it didn't impede with the ongoing investigation. And I do, say what needs to be said. Excuse me. I'm going to show you the injuries first that this child has suffered that are documented. To correct the news article, they said she was shot near her eye. She was shot in her right eye, which she lost. So she's missing her right eye. They're not sure if, she was shot in the eye. Let me just say that. She lost her eye. The bullet traveled around her face, knocked out 5 of her teeth. She has to have another surgery to get a broken tooth out. The bullet burned the bottom of her mouth, and it exited out the bottom of her lip. And this is all known, and I know she's watching, so I want to make sure I get this accurately right. She was shot in the chest at close range a second time. She's lost a nipple on her breast, the right side of her chest in the 30% area, including her right arm. She suffered 3rd and 4th degree burns from the alcohol and being set on fire several times, not just once. She's burned so badly that tendons and stuff is showing. Her right arm that's burnt is stuck at a 90-degree angle, and her elbow doesn't work anymore. Her bottom eyelid on the left side of her face is gone, completely gone. The inside of her nose is singed. She has no sense of smell as of now. They burned the eyelid off of her left eye. Her right eye, with the eye she was shot in, has no eyelid at all. And she has suffered vaginal trauma. What would you do if this was your child? Somebody left me a comment and I didn't know how to take it earlier about me putting up a Cash App. Make no mistake, I never put the Cash App up there for me. I don't. That's always for the victim. And for you to make that comment you made about stipulations, stuff, I was born that night, not last night. And I don't just do this Cash App thing all the time. I do this for people that I vet and talk to. These are quality people. This little girl is the victim. This ain't got nothing to do with me. If you don't want to donate, don't donate. Seriously, but don't stop me from doing something good out here for some people that do deserve it. We put a lot of donations and stuff into political affairs and a lot of stuff that don't mean nothing. We send money to other countries and all this other stuff. You know how I get on here. But when the war is in front of our face as normal citizens and people are victimized and other people that have a voice can say something to help that, can't fix it, but just help it, why would you say anything? Either you donate or you don't. And I just wanted to get that out there. And I shout out to everybody that has donated thus far and people that still want to continue to donate. I will run this thing the Wednesday till I go see her in the hospital. I'm coming up there. I told your family I'm going to come see you prior to you getting your surgery on Thursday. Guys, she has to get another surgery coming up on Thursday, plastic surgery to fix a lot of the damage that, her face endured. I've seen pictures of what this little girl looks like right now, and she's unrecognizable. I want you to look at this child up here. That's a beautiful child with a lot to live for, just like a lot of other children out here that are going through the same thing. She didn't deserve this. We got 60,000 people strong in this family. And thank God we got people that care. People have donated, and people, are going to continue to donate. Something like this should have never happened. What kind of person does not protect their own damn child? And I'm not going to cuss on this video because I know little Tamyra's watching. But I will do what I have to do and say what I have to say to get my point across and get help for those that need help. I'm not the biggest person in the world, neither is my platform, but it's enough to get the word out and speak for those who don't have a voice or their voice is not loud enough. She's in the hospital right now, immediate family 6 hours away. A lot of time on her hands, a long road of recovery. She's in the burn unit, so you know she's not feeling too well. She'll never be the same. She'll never be what she used to be, but she's still enough. She deserves love, care, compassion, and support from everybody else. I did a story last night about a little 6-month-old baby and his mother that was held hostage by an estranged baby daddy. He burned the house up. Luckily, the girl got away, but he shot the little baby multiple times, the 6-month-old. That since I did that story, that GoFundMe has elevated. And I'm not saying it's due to me, but I want to show you guys something real quick before I get back into this story. Now, I talked about this GoFundMe for Miss Johnson, Tamyra Johnson, right? Let me go to GoFundMe real fast. I'm gonna go to GoFundMe. They have a goal for $20,000. This GoFundMe is at $4,505. That's a damn shame. So for me to sit up here and do what I do and talk about what I do, these people are only asking for a $20,000 goal to help with surgeries and expenses. Who am I that I can't help a kid? A lot of us talk about doing something, but we don't do nothing. We don't say nothing either. Just record stuff. Either way, man, this girl suffered horrific injuries and she's going through it. How can anybody, want to go on after something like this happens from somebody that looks like you and is supposed to be in charge of you as a guardian and supposed to love you? I want to answer some questions real quick that I asked the family, clear some things up. The father recently had full custody of her from 2017 to 2022. Now, you remember, guys, I told you, the news article told you as well. The mother, Latanya Harris, pled guilty to child abandonment. Because the reason why this all came about, she was found on the side of the road, right? This is Tamyra, found on the side of the road with a sign saying she needed a ride to school. And luckily, a good Samaritan picked her up and took her to school, but called the police. And she wound up going to live with the father. So for those 5 years, she was with her dad and she was doing well. She went and spent the summer with her mom, Latanya Harris, summer of 2022. Had a good time, called back and said, "Hey, Dad, I want to stay with my 10-year-old sister." Parents agreed to it, reluctantly, but they agreed to it. The father agreed to it, Timothy Johnson. Said the problem started around October 2023. I asked the father himself, I said, "How come she didn't tell you and this and that? And I want you to pay close attention to this." She said she was scared because this guy, Terrence Washington, this asshole, piece of crap, told her he was real powerful. "I'll get your daddy killed. I drive by your daddy house every day. I'll blow your daddy house up if you don't do what I say," using fear tactics to sexually assault a child. How messed up is that? She has enough of it. She goes and tells the mom. Mom goes off, don't say nothing to him about it, goes off and burns this girl. And this is the key, y'all. This girl, Tamyra, was burned in February of this year. She was recently shot on what day was that they shot her? I got the timeline up here. I had to write it down. I'm sorry. She was burned in February and shot April 19th. She was shot April 19th. Look at the timeline. That night they shot her. They drove from wherever she was at in Louisiana to Lake Charles, Louisiana, and turned around and came back. They was already looking to dump her body. This is a child, guys. And this is all known. A child, mind you, her child, Miss Harris, went back and returned to the house. The next day they headed to Houston and turned around and started heading back. And that's when he was supposedly driving reckless. They were on they wasn't even on the highway. They was on the road leading on to the highway, a feeder road or a service road, when the accident occurred. They said when they came up on her and found her, she was wrapped in a sheet with 2 teddy bears and a backpack full of clothes. They were trying to set it up as if she ran away and her body was discovered in Houston. They was looking for a place to dump her. From the mouth of the victim, the guy said, "I'm going to finish her off." Before they had that crash, she already knew they were trying to get rid of her. Can you imagine the horror? You're already in pain. You're suffering from a gunshot wound. With gunshot wounds, you can hardly move. You're in agonizing pain as your burns were untreated, and you're in the car and people are deciding your fate. One more thing before I get out of here. The doctors removed the bullet from her eye. They said it was full of mold and mildew. Remember in the house, they said that you smelled decomposition and infection. They said she was infected so bad that, it was beyond treatment of anybody outside of a medical facility. She was burned in February. Let's put it together. She was burned in February. She was burned so bad they seen it wasn't getting better. She was starting to have decomposing wounds on her. Had to get rid of the evidence. They treated this child like she was common trash or a mangy animal. And that's sickening. It's sickening to me. I could never fathom doing that to my daughter. And like I said to the family, you get my deepest sympathy and outgoing support. I will help you in any way I can. I'm out here in Houston. You guys can't make that trip 6 hours every day. I know she needs a lot of surgeries and all stuff. If she needs something and I'm local, I will help you. You have my number. Just call me and let me know what you need. And me and Tony will be there. We got you. I feel so bad. It's one of the positions where you feel powerless. All I can do is talk about it on my platform. Hope it gets some exposure. Give it some push nationally. I've contacted CNN. Hopefully they'll get back with the family or call me personally. We can make this thing a national push. I don't know where this channel is going to take me, but I'm sure it's going to be in a positive direction where I can reach out and help a lot of people that really need it. I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. The link to the GoFundMe is in the description box. It's valid. These are valid people. Thank everybody that contributed to the Cash App. It's going to be running today and tomorrow. She needs all the help she can get. She's by herself out here and she's suffering. If anybody deserves prayers, support, and just something to take them out of their present situation, because I'm going to tell you something, I can't fathom being in a hospital room, not surrounded by family and having people come and visit me on the daily when I have to deal with horrific wounds and a grueling rehab. I told you last night that a lot of people out here that get upset and, feel as though the whole world is falling on them. There are people out here that will gladly take your problems in exchange of theirs. Tamyra Johnson is proof. God bless you, love. And I'll see you soon. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Please donate if you can. Anything helps, but she does need help.